excited to be here to represent the English part of Canada. I will be talking to you about the Canadian Company of Pilgrims, which is our association, and also the Victoria chapter, which is a chapter of the Canadian Company. I'm from Victoria, British Columbia. And also the hospitalero training. Associations in Canada. One is the Canadian Company of Pilgrims that was started in 1994, and you don't need to take notes because I do have handouts with a nice little Canadian pin on it. So, and the other one is the Quebec Association, Association Québécoise de Terrain et Amis de Chemin de Saint-Jacques, was begun in 2000. It has over, right now it has 2,500 members, so I've said over 2,000 members, but right now over 25. The main focus of the Canadian Company of Pilgrims are the chapters. They are the ones that give it strength. You have a next slide? Okay, the next, I'm looking for a map of Canada. Keep going. Okay. So, what I had in between those, it's not showing up, is a map of Canada. So, we're going to pretend this is a map of Canada. Canada's huge, as you know. I live over here. Okay? Quebec is over here, and they have various chapters. We have, the English-speaking Canadians have 11 chapters. One here, 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 here. So we don't meet. Okay. The chapters meet. The city chapters meet, but as a group, we don't meet. It's just too expensive. It's too huge. It costs $1,000 for a meeting to go to Ottawa, for instance. So that's too much for a meeting. However, the chapters are very active. This is the website for the Canadian Company of Pilgrims. There are various links across the top that have links to memberships, that kind of thing, recipes, books published. They issue the credential we have in Canada, which it's not quite as pretty as some of the other ones. But it's very useful when you walk into an albergue and the hotelero says, oh, just leave your credential there, there's your bed, I'll stamp it later. As you come back and there's 200 credentials there, you can always pick the Canadian one. It's a different one. We also, the Canadian Company of Pilgrims also produces badges. So if you see this badge on someone's knapsack, you know where they're from. And this is the website for the Quebec Association. They also sell memberships. They have on their website linked to bibliographies and guides and travel logs. But we all have the same goals. We're all pilgrims supporting pilgrims, coming together to support each other. So in 2012, we had the 10th largest presence with 3,000 pilgrims. 1/3 were from English-speaking Canada, 2/3 from Quebec. Of the roughly 100,000 voyages the Canadians make to Spain every year, roughly 1 out of 30 will feature a person with hiking boots, a knapsack, and a pilgrim credential. So as I say, the strength of interest in the Camino is from the chapters. There are a few meetings every year. Some meet monthly for coffee sessions. In Victoria, we meet in the spring to help pilgrims prepare for going on the Camino. And we also meet in the autumn to welcome them back. And there we are, another blank one. Okay, so there we are. Okay. Our first Victoria meeting was in 2006. We had 75 people for an evening. And basically we featured someone's slides and then talked about what you might take. So I said to my friend, well, you know, there's 75 people here. Why don't we have an all-day thing? So now every year, every spring, we meet all day. This gives you an idea of the program that we have. If you look down the side, you'll see that we have authors, someone talking about the Via Francigena. We have, obviously, Canadians on the West Coast are great walkers because we can walk all year round. There's not a lot of snow on the ground. So we have a huge following. Canadian Company of Pilgrims has 800 members. We have 600 interested in Victoria. So this is just the morning session you see. Then you can see at the end there's a lunch break. And there we are having lunch in the gym. There were 230 people in this particular one. And people, you've got a store there that has all the latest gear that you might want for walking the Camino. And here we have Austin Cook sitting at the table with, he's the president of the Canadian Company of Pilgrims, so he's come from Ottawa for this. And the woman beside him has come 300 kilometers for the day. She is also a hospitalera. We have usually about 20 people that come from the northwest United States as well, from Seattle and Portland area, because it's easier for them to get to our gathering than it would be for them to, say, get to someplace in Florida, Virginia, Southern California. And this is the afternoon program. So I've just put, so that's our typical day in March. The autumn meeting that we have is 50 to 60 people. They're invited if they have walked the Camino that year, and basically it's a potluck at our house. Lots of great food as you get to the potluck, lots of good wine, and lots of fabulous stories. And people get to talk about their Camino. The statistics on the bottom are how many people we've had attend our sessions. The lower numbers are there because we had to keep turning people away. We could only find accommodation for that many people. As you can see, in 2012, we finally found a larger accommodation, so the numbers automatically went up. Now, in 2005, I was fortunate enough to join about 35 Canadians and Americans to attend hospitalera training offered for the first time outside of Spain. There I met Tom Friesen, who is from London, Ontario, so 5,000 kilometers from where I live. We both served. The next year I served in Grignon, he served in Pontebellon as hospitaleros. And we had a terrific time. He approached me at the same time he was approaching the Federación de Asociación del Camino de Santiago in Spain, and suggested that we run